Great. Okay, it's great to see so many of you here this afternoon, and I'm hoping that you are here because you are expecting to learn a little bit more about prepositions and how we use them as prepositional phrases. Now, I'm sure that at school you will have learned a little bit about them. So we are going to explain what prepositions are, first of all, and a little bit about how they are used in sentences. And then we will move on to identifying them and looking at the different types of them. Okay, so when your teachers speak about prepositions at school, they will usually tell you that it is helping to show where something is. Okay, prepositions actually do quite a bit more than this. They are the words in the sentences that link things together. So it links the noun phrases to other parts of the sentence, okay? And it does this by showing the place. So it shows where something is. It shows the time, so when something is happening. It will show the direction or the movement of something. It shows the manner, so how someone is doing something. It might show the cause, the reason for something, and the purpose or the possession of something. So it has many different uses within the actual sentence. Now, in terms of prepositions, some of them are incredibly common, and you will have hopefully all have come across in, on, and at, and they are your most common types of preposition, but they are used in many different ways as well. So when we are looking at the preposition in, when you are looking at in the morning, that is showing the time of something. If you're talking about a letter that is in an envelope, that is showing the place, that is showing where something is. If we're talking about someone who is in tears, it often speaks about the manner that that person is behaving. So it's how they are acting. And then the last one is slightly different because you have the in, which is your preposition, and then you have the yellow jumper, and that part there is a noun phrase, and it is the object of the preposition. So it's kind of talking about what someone would be wearing. So although they are only three little words, those little words can be used in quite a range of different situations. Okay. Now, when we are speaking about prepositions, you need to be aware that they are never on their own in a sentence. They are always part of a prepositional phrase. And if I just flip back to this screen here, the prepositional phrases in the morning, that is the prepositional phrase. In an envelope, that is the prepositional phrase. In tears is the phrase, okay? So these prepositions, they will always be part of a prepositional phrase, and they are made up in certain ways. So let's have a look. We have at home. That is the preposition, and it has a noun after it that is making up the phrase. You could have a time after it. So you could have on Tuesday. The Tuesday is the noun, so it is still the prepositional phrase with the preposition and the noun. You then have a preposition with a pronoun, so with them, with us, okay? Then you've got this idea here of a preposition with a gerund. And a gerund is when we are using a verb that ends with ing, and we are using it as a noun in the sentence. So we could say that he won the race by running. Running would be the noun, it's the object rather than the verb, okay? And the final one, you've got the in the green shoes, which is very similar to the jumper example that I showed a minute ago. You've got your preposition and then you've got your noun phrase after it, okay? So let's have a look then and see if we can work out the noun phrases and what they are being used as, how they are being used, okay? So I have kind of helped you a little bit with this because I have put my prepositional phrase in red at the end of the sentence, okay? So in my first sentence, after the show is my prepositional phrase, and I'm looking at this, and after is my preposition, and it is linking to the clapping, okay? And it is showing when the audience were clapping. So it is used to show the time. Now, the next one, I've got, she left the room in tears is my prepositional phrase. So looking at that, the in is my preposition, and it is showing how she left. So she left in tears, and because it is showing how she did it, it is the manner that she is doing something, okay? Now, luckily for you, my dog is actually sleeping on the sofa today. She is quite quiet today. So on the sofa is my prepositional phrase. Looking at that, the on is the preposition, and it's the fact that my dog, it likes sleeping, so it is linking to this part here that likes sleeping, and it is showing where my dog likes sleeping. So it is a preposition of place. It is showing where. Now, the next one, she went to the shop for milk. Okay. Now I've got for is my preposition there, and this is giving my reason for going to the shops. Okay. And you've also got in here another prepositional phrase. You've also got, let me just find a highlighter. You've also got to the shop. And again, that is saying where they are going. For milk is showing the purpose. It's why they are going. So this one here, it is a prepositional phrase that shows the purpose of going. Okay. The next one, here's the boy with the brown hair. Looking at this, with is the preposition, and we are speaking about the hair that belongs to the boy. So we are talking about the possession of it. Okay. You might talk about the boy with the fluffy cat. It's the cat belongs to the boy. So this one here, it is the showing possession. Now this next one, the prepositional phrase is at the beginning of the sentence. Okay. Due to the storm, the train was delayed. I could have put it at the end, the train was delayed due to the storm. So the fact that there was a storm, this prepositional phrase here is linking to why it was delayed. So it is giving the reason for it to be delayed. And that means that this one here is a preposition that it shows the cause of something. So it shows the cause of the delay to the train. And the last one, it's kind of a little bit tricky because these ones are very similar to the place prepositions. So we've got the car drove through the tunnel. Now, because we are showing the car is driving through the tunnel, we're showing the movement of the car, okay? And it is linking to where the car is driving. And this one here, it is showing the movement rather than the place of it, okay? So it's showing that the car is moving within the tunnel. So those are identifying the types of prepositional phrase. What we're going to move on to next is the usage of them within the sentence. So let me just clear all of this off the screen. And what we need to understand for the next part of what we're doing is prepositional phrases are the most common types of sentences, okay? And they're the most common types of phrases. So not only are they prepositional phrases, they have other jobs as well. So when something is a prepositional phrase, it is also either an adjectival phrase or an adverbial phrase. And what that means is within your sentence, the prepositional phrase is either acting as an adjective, so it is giving more information about nouns or pronouns in sentences, or it is acting as an adverb. And that means it's giving more information about the verbs or the adverbs and sometimes adjectives within sentences. And if it is acting as an adverbial, it will often answer questions like where it is, when it is, how it is. Okay, so within the sentence, our prepositional phrase, it will have another job as well. So looking at these sentences, and they are on your sheets, so you can kind of follow along with what we are doing. We're going to identify, first of all, the prepositional phrases, and then we need to decide, is it working like an adjective or is it working like an adverb? Okay, so in that first sentence there, I've got several houses on our street have green doors. So the bit that is important here and the bit that is our prepositional phrase is the on our street. Okay, and what it is linked to, it is telling us more about the houses. It is telling us more about where the houses are. Okay, and because it is telling us about houses, houses are a noun, so this is acting as an adjective because it is telling us more about the noun. Okay, so my next sentence, I have got the bit here, Daniel hid under the bed. So I'm looking in there for my prepositional phrase, and I have spotted the word under. So under the bed is my prepositional phrase. And looking at my sentence, the under the bed, it's linking to not Daniel, but where he is hiding. So this time it is linking to the hid. Hid is a verb, so under the bed is acting as an adverb because it's telling us more about where he is hiding. Okay, so again, it's answering that question of where, but it is telling us where the verb is being done. Okay, so the next one, I finished the task with your help. So looking in there for my preposition, right, I found it. So my preposition in there is with, so the prepositional phrase, with your help. Now, looking at that sentence, with your help, it is linked to the finishing of the task. So the actual prepositional phrase is linking to the word finished. Okay, so they finished it with your help. So because it is linking to the verb, with your help, it's acting as an adverb. Okay, because it's not telling me more about the task, it's telling me about how they finished it. So this one here, rather than asking where or when, it's asking how they finished it. So the next one, we've got two bits that we need to look at. So sometimes I go for a walk along the river. So I've got two bits that I have spotted. The first bit that I have noticed is this bit here. I go for a walk. Now, in this sense, walk is being used as a noun and the go is the verb. So that is linked to the going. Now, I go for a walk along the river. The along the river is a separate prepositional phrase, but it is still telling me where they are going. Okay, so it's still linked to where they're going, and because go is a verb, this is acting as an adverb. Okay, so my next sentence, she made a sculpture of a dog. Looking at that sentence, I need to pick out where is my prepositional phrase. And I think I've spotted it here. It's a bit of a tricky one. Of a dog. Okay. Now, it isn't to do with the making, so it's not linked to the verb this time. This time, my preposition is linked to the actual sculpture. It's telling me more about what the sculpture is. So, of a dog, it's telling me more about the sculpture, which means that instead of acting as an adverb this time, it is acting as an adjective because it is telling us more about what it is. So this one here, it is answering the question, what is the sculpture? Okay. Now, the next one, they had a surprise party for Abby. And this one is kind of tricky because you need to know your word classes to be able to work this one out. And I've spotted my prepositional phrase, I've spotted that part quite easily because I have looked and I know that for Abby is who the party is for. Okay, so I can make a note here that I know it is who the party is for. But what I need to know to be able to work this one out is the part of speech that the word party is. Because in this sentence, a surprise party, this part here is a noun phrase. It's telling us what it is, okay? And the had is the verb. So now that I know that surprise party is a noun, I can work out that in this sentence, the for Abby, the who, it's acting as an adjective. Okay. And then the next one, I need to look and I need to think carefully. I can see the bit that I need to highlight. I need to look at it because they returned home before dark. Okay. And before dark, that is telling me when they returned. Now, I need to look because is it telling me more about their home or more about when they actually went there? And looking at that, I think that it is actually linked to the returning. So it's saying when they returned. Okay. And because return, it is a verb, this part here, the prepositional phrase, it is acting as an adverb. And then my last sentence, did you close the window in the kitchen? I can look there and I think I can work it out. So, did I close the window in the kitchen? So, in the kitchen, it's saying where the window is. Now, is in the kitchen, is it linking to the close or is it linking to the window? I actually think it's telling me about where the window is. So this part here, it's linking to the window. Therefore, window is my noun. So this one must be an adjective because it is telling me more about the window rather than actually closing it. Okay. Now, I'm just going to say that because we have kind of finished these bits here, but I just wanted to pick out one sentence on here, this particular sentence. And I want to pick out that particular sentence because of the word before. And those of you that have done some of the other sessions with me, you will be familiar with that word before, and you will know that it is also a conjunction. Okay, so why is it a preposition in this sentence rather than a conjunction? Now, there is a reason that it is a preposition, and you need to look at it because you need to look at what comes after it. Because some words in English, they have more than one word class. And I know that this is a preposition because it's part of a phrase before dark. If it was being used as a conjunction, there would need to be a verb in the part that came after it. So I could say they returned home before the film had finished or before it was dinner time. So in that case, I have a verb in that part. And I wanted to mention that because some of the prepositions that you come across, because is a preposition, it is also a conjunction. Before, after, since, many of them have two different jobs. Okay, now if you are in year 3, you don't need to worry too much about the fact that they have different jobs. If you are in year 4, there is a separate masterclass in a few weeks' time about the difference between phrases and clauses, and we will look a little bit more about the before, since, because, and how they are used in phrases and clauses. Okay, now let me just stop what we are doing at the moment